Okay, so hello. So my name is Himanshu. I applied for a skilled independent visa, subclass 189. So I started my process in February. Last year. So I came to know about Future in Australia through internet. So I just went on Google and searched for registered Mara agents in Hyderabad. And then I found out Future in Australia. Then I went to the Mara website, saw Mr. Dilip's name, and then I contacted them. Initially, I thought of lodging my application myself, but when I went through the expat forum, I'm a part of the expat forum group. So it's a forum on internet where like people discuss about visas and all those things. So when I read there, I found a lot of cases where visa got rejected for not uploading correct documents. So I didn't wanted to land into trouble with documents and all those things. So that's the reason I went with a registered Mara agent, and that's the reason I chose Future in Australia. And I went through the testimonials on the website and YouTube, and I found it quite interesting. I even contacted one of my friends, so who took your services earlier. So he gave me a good review about the services you provided, and then I started my process. So I started in February last 2015, and my initial phases were quite fast, and then I delayed my process myself by 2 months due to some personal issues. So I lodged my application in November. So around 2nd of November I lodged my application, and I got my grant in January 14th, 2016. So yeah, around 3 months. So I mean, if you if you have your documentation correct, and if you don't have any issues, your background is clear, then I think you'll be able to get your visa in 6 months. So 6 months is the maximum it takes to get the visa, right? So yeah, so I delayed my process by a couple of months. Otherwise, yeah, I would have got my visa by November or December, but I delayed my process, so I got by January. And I mean, yeah, I'm very thankful to Nitesh, Shekhar. They helped a lot during the process. So they're like very friendly. So whenever I call them, so I always interacted through telephone and email. So I was in Malaysia, so I didn't get a lot of chances to meet them in the office. So I just met them once or twice. So I started my process from Malaysia itself. I didn't even meet them, and I trusted them with all the reviews and the guidance they provided me. And then I started my process from Malaysia itself. And then when I came to Hyderabad, so I visited the office, and Shekhar has been very helpful. Even Nitesh in the initial stages. So he used to help me with all the documentation and everything. So all the staff has been very helpful. So I didn't have any troubles. So I mean, they were very prompt in follow-ups with the documentation and everything. So I'm very much satisfied with the services, and yeah, I'll definitely recommend my friends for the services. Okay, so yeah, so I mean, they have been very helpful. And okay, when I started my process, I went through the websites, and what I found was IELTS. So what I saw everywhere was IELTS, and then Future in Australia suggested me to go with PT. So PT was relatively new at that time, and very few people had any information about PT. So Nitesh and everyone at Future in Australia suggested me to go with PT, and I was initially advised to go for state sponsorship because I didn't have enough experience. Like my experience was less than 5 years, so I was advised to go with state sponsorship. And I thought of giving IELTS, but then Nitesh advised me to go with PT, and PT is relatively easy when compared to IELTS. And what I found out I went through the forums, and what I found out was, yes, PT was, I mean, a lot of people who didn't score in IELTS scored in PT, and I gave my PT and I scored 18 all bands, which is 79 plus. So in first attempt, so yeah, I mean, PT is definitely more easier than IELTS, so that helped me to lodge my 189 application. So that advice was very helpful from Future in Australia. Otherwise, I would have gone with IELTS and I would have spent like tens or thousands of rupees given to or twice or tried IELTS. Because if you see anywhere in the internet, so people who give IELTS, they have to take 2 or 3 attempts to get 8 plus. So 8 plus in IELTS is pretty hard. If you give PT is relatively easy, and I got good advice. I got enough material from Future in Australia. They gave me good advice on how to prepare, and I scored 79 on my first attempt. And yeah, and I delayed my, like I told earlier, I delayed my process by 2 months. So yeah, when my initial EOI got picked up in a month, and then I let my EOI after 2 months go back into the pool again, and so my next EOI got picked up in 3 days, so that was pretty fast. So, and then like after my EOI got picked up in September again, I launched my application in November, and then I got my grant by January. So all went well with Future in Australia. I didn't have any issues. So the main advice, yeah, I'm like very helpful for the PT advice which Future in Australia gave me. And yeah, I mean, things to improve, I would say, I mean, like a couple of times I tried to contact the office, because I wasn't onshore, so I was always in contact through telephone or email. So I experienced a bit of delay in emails. So I mean, when I requested for emails, so I got like, I had to call twice or thrice to get the emails on my email ID. But yeah, I mean, you guys must have a lot of applications, so you must be busy. But yeah, I mean, maybe you can improve on that. So like, you can send prompt emails when you have, and like prompt calls and all those things. But overall, the service is good. I mean, I got correct advice at the right time when I needed it. So that is more important. And yeah, I would definitely suggest, like if you go through a Mara agent, you know that your application is in safe hands, so you're not going to mess up anything. So if you go with a Mara agent, you won't have any trouble. So if you go through unregistered agents, you might lose your money as well, and you might lose your chance, and you might lose your dream to go to Australia. So I would definitely recommend to go with Mara agent, and I would definitely recommend Future in Australia as one of the good Mara agents who are in. Okay, so Nitesh just told me that you guys have started giving free PT classes. So I think it's better to go with PT rather than IELTS, and with this additional services provided by Future in Australia for PTE. So I think it will be more easier for you to crack the PTE exam and score 65 or 8 plus, that is 79 in all bands. So I think I would definitely recommend this free additional add-on which Future in Australia is providing. I didn't have this, but now what I learned from Nitesh is that they are giving free PT classes. So I mean, you can prepare by yourself, but if you have guidance, you can score more. So if you go for these classes, you'll definitely score 18 all bands. Okay, thank you.